Welcome to all. Myself Ajan, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Rovini College of Engineering and Technology. Here we are going to discuss the subject Water Supply Engineering, subject code of EN 8491. This is the third year of the semester subject. First of all, sources of water. Okay. What are the points considered in selection of sources of water? Location, elevation of intake point, quantity of water, quality of water. These are the points mainly considered while selecting the sources of water. Then first one, location. The source should be nearest possible to the town or city to minimize the cost of conveyance. And then elevation of intake point. The reduced level of intake point should be higher than the supply zone, so that water can flow by gravity. Otherwise, pumping unit should be established. We choose RL of intake point should be higher than the supply zone. Then quantity of water. Required quantity of water may be available throughout the year to meet the water demand. Then quality of water. Cost of treatment depends on the quality of water. Good quality, suppose the water quality is good, less treatment is required, and it decreases the cost of scheme. These are the available sources of water. Various sources of water can be classified into two categories, mainly surface sources, and another one is subsurface or underground sources. First of all, surface sources, ponds and lakes, streams and rivers, storage reservoirs. These are comes under surface reservoir. Then subsurface or underground sources, springs, infiltration well, wells and tube well. First one, surface sources, ponds. These are depression in plains like lakes of mountains in which water is collected during rainy season. Generally, the quantity of water is very small and contains large amount of impurities. In the villages, mostly the used water flow towards pond and further contaminates its water. The water of pond is used for washing clothes, animal bathing and drinking. The water of ponds cannot be used for water supply purposes. It is limited quantity and a large amount of impurities. So normally pond source is not chosen for water supply system. Then lakes, mountains, at some places natural basins are formed with impervious beds. The quantity of water in the lakes depend on its basin capacity, catchment area, annual rainfall, porosity of the ground. Okay, lake quantity of water depends on capacity of basin, then catchment area, then annual rainfall intensity. Okay. The quality of large lake is good than that of the small lakes. The catchment area of this lake is small, hence quantity of water is not reliable, but the quality of water is reliable for this type of source. Then streams is totally good except the water of first runoff. All the suspected impurities can be restored in settling tanks up to the certain extent, but the dissolved impurities require special treatments. The streams generally flow in valleys and are main source of water. Streams are suitable for small water supply schemes. Then rivers, normally rivers are born in the hills. Rivers are the only surface source of water which have maximum quantity of water which can be easily taken. Okay, mostly all the cities which are situated near rivers discharge their used water of sewage in the rivers. Therefore, much care should be taken while drawing water from the rivers. Normally, rivers are two type. One is perennial river and another one is non-perennial rivers. Okay, perennial rivers means water is flowing throughout the year. That type of river is called perennial river. Non-perennial rivers, water is flowing or water is available only rainy season. Okay, that type of river is non-perennial rivers. Suppose non-perennial rivers means some arrangement is constructed to hold the waters. Then storage reservoir. If some rivers the flow becomes very small and cannot meet the requirement of hot weather seasons. Okay, in such cases the water can be stored by constructing a weir or a dam across the river at such places where minimum area of land is submerged in the water and maximum quantity of water to be stored. The quantity and quality are both reliable for this storage reservoirs. The function of storage reservoir normally irrigation, water supply, hydroelectric and hydroelectric power generations. Merits of groundwater sources. Being underground, the groundwater supply has less chance of being contaminated by atmospheric pollution. Okay, the water quality is good and better than surface source. Prevention of water through evaporation is ensured and thus loss of water is reduced. Under the category of subsurface or underground sources, first one, springs. Normally, sometimes groundwater reappears at the ground surface in the form of springs. Springs generally supply small quantity of water and are suitable for the hill towns. Some springs discharge hot water. That hot water is used for curing certain type of skin diseases. Okay. These are the three forms of springs. One is artesian spring and another is gravity spring. And the artesian spring is present in between the two impervious layer. Okay, one pervious layer is present between two impervious layers. That type of spring is called artesian spring. Then gravity spring, these are formed in the hilly areas. Okay. Then surface springs are also normally formed in the hill slope areas. Here one cut-off wall is constructed for storing the water. Then infiltration well. In order to obtain large quantity of water, infiltration wells are sunk in series in the banks of a river. The wells are closed at the top and open at the bottom. They are constructed by brick masonry with open joints. The quality of water is good and it requires no treatment. This is the infiltration well diagram. Okay, normally the wall is constructed with the help of RCC or brick masonry. Then open joints are provided. Through these open joints, water is entered into the sump well. Okay. Then well is defined as an artificial hole or pit made in the ground for the purpose of tapping underground water. In India, 75 to 80% of Indian population has to depend on wells for its water supply. Different type of wells. There is three type of wells. One is shallow well, deep wells, tube wells. Shallow wells are constructed in the uppermost layer of the earth's surface. The diameter of the well varies from 2 to 6 meter and maximum depth of 7 meters. Shallow wells may be lined or unlined from inside. The quantity of water available from shallow wells is limited as their source of supply is uppermost layer of earth only, and sometimes may even dry up in summer. The shallow wells should be constructed away from septic tanks. Then deep wells obtain their quota of water from an aquifer below the impervious layer. The diameter varies from 1 meter to 2 meter. Depth varies from 20 meter to 30 meter, depending upon the nature of soil and water table of that area. Tube well, it draws water from the deepermost pervious layer. The diameter and depth of this well may vary from 37 mm to 150 mm and 100 meter to 200 meter respectively. Okay, diameter of the tube well 37 mm to 150 mm and the depth of the tube well vary from 100 meter to 200 meter respectively. That depth is varying depending on the water table available on particular areas. Okay, the deep tube well is considered the best source of water for any water supply scheme. Okay, thank you.